Hi beautiful people, it's me, Herinsky. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to transform this $3 glass cutting boards to these beautiful window glass sun catchers using sublimation substrates in 4 ways. Yes, you heard me right, sublimation substrates. We need a layer to fuse into the glass in order to transfer your design because the glass surface alone, you cannot sublimate it without coating. So, hang tight up to the end of this video to find out which one is my favorite and maybe yours too after you watch this one. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go ahead and let's make it. Here are the 4 different materials we are going to use for sublimating $3 glass cutting boards. We need laminate sheet, Sublimation HTV clear one, Sublimation HTV for dark fabric, we need the matte finish, and Oracle 651 permanent vinyl in matte finish, rapid tack spray, squeegee, heat tape, and your printed sublimation designs of your choice. Now, we need to prepare glass cutting boards by removing those feet. In here, I already removed it ahead of time so you won't see me struggling about it. I just want to show you a quick look on how I clean my cutting boards. First, grab a paper towel or dried wipes and pump some alcohol. Apply and clean the surface area thoroughly, especially those areas where you remove these feet. In this video, I clean 1 square and 4 circle glass cutting boards. Option 1, using Oracle 651 permanent vinyl. Grab your design and trim it down to the closest measurement. My square and circle glass cutting boards measures both at 7.75 inch, so I cut both designs and the vinyls with the same measurements as the cutting boards. Next, grab your rapid tack and spray the smooth side of your cutting board. We will do the square glass first by simply put the vinyl on top of it. Carefully align the vinyl and use your squeegee to eliminate those liquid and bubbles, if any, starting from the middle going out. Wipe the excess liquid by using paper towels. Do the same method as for the circle glass. Set them aside and let it dry a bit. Moving to my heat press, lay down a sheet of butcher paper and a cardstock before you put your glass. I am using 395° Fahrenheit for 90 seconds with 70 pounds of pressure for my heat setting to tack down the vinyl to the glass. We will use the same settings for both square and circle glass. Remember to check your manufacturer's heat settings for both heat press and materials. Set it aside and let them cool down properly. Also, don't forget to put butcher paper and Teflon sheet on top of your glass before pressing it down. Now, grab your design and lay it on top of the vinyl face down. Secure it with a heat tape and flip the glass. We will apply the heat direct contact with our heat plate to the glass with the rough or textured surface and not the sublimation paper. Put butcher paper and Teflon sheet on top of the glass. Continue pressing it down with the same settings. Once it's done, rotate the glass 180 degrees and do a second press. Carefully check your design if all the ink transferred. Otherwise, run another press as you see me here doing it. Again, this is only my preference and you can always check. If you are happy with the third press, then stop right there. Otherwise, continue until you reach your desired outcome. Once it's done, carefully set aside and cool it down. Now we will do the same with the circle glass cutting board. Here are some pointers why we need to put our design behind the glass. First is to avoid direct heat contact of the vinyl to the heat plate so it won't melt in the long run. And second, it's easier to see if our design transferred thoroughly or if there's some cold spot so we can rotate our design accordingly. Plus, putting a cardstock underneath the glass is a great idea for rotating the glass and easier transfer to avoid disturbing the glass, which will cause ghosting when we move right after excessive heat applied to it. Moreover, I don't want to break the glass by putting too much of pressure, so 70 pounds is pretty much good because the heat plate itself has weight in it. Again, test your machine and materials, and when you finally found the right recipe, you will be happy about the outcome. This is just me, and this settings is my ideal settings for this glass sublimation. Now let's shorten the time down to 60 seconds with same heat and pressure setting for the next one. Option 2. Laminate sheet. Again, put the laminate sheet to the smooth glass surface. Secure it with a heat tape and run the heat press. Set it aside and cool it down completely. Once it's cooled down, grab your design and lay it down on top of the butcher paper and cardstock. Place your glass on top of it, secure it with a heat tape, flip it back, cover it with a butcher paper and Teflon sheet, then run the heat press. If you will notice here, I did reverse method, which is I let the laminate sheet to have a direct contact with the heat plate and to lessen the formation of bubbles since our laminate sheet did not have any adhesive unlike the first two glasses we made earlier. Once done, set it aside and let it cool down completely before removing the paper. Move along to option number 3. Using an HTVRONT HTV sublimation for dark fabric in matte finish. Place the vinyl on top of the smooth glass, secure it with a heat tape and run the heat press with my favorite settings to tack down the vinyl. Set aside and do a warm peel to take out the carrier sheet. Once the glass is completely cooled down, grab your design, place it on top of the smooth surface and secure it with a heat tape. Again, sublimation design will be behind the glass in this method, so it will be easier from our naked eyes to see if this process is completely done. Check your design and continue rotating it and press accordingly until you achieve your desired outcome. Lift up the cardstock with your sublimated glass on top of it, set it aside, and cool it down a bit before removing the sublimation paper. Last but not the least is option number 4, using an HTVRONT HTV, the clear one. We will do exactly the same method and heat settings as the option number 3. Now, the final verdict. You might want to grab a pen and a notepad to take down all the settings I use for this sublimation, as for your reference only. Option 1, using Oracle 651 permanent adhesive vinyl in matte finish. For both round and square glass cutting boards, I use 385 Fahrenheit for 90 seconds with 70 pounds of pressure to tack down the vinyl in place, and 4 times sublimation process with the same settings. I love the outcome of this method. All the colors are present and a smooth matte finish at the back. If you are looking for a transparent outcome, this method is best for you. Option number 2, using laminate sheet. I use 395 Fahrenheit heat for 60 seconds with 70 pounds pressure to tack down the laminate sheet in place twice, and with 3 times sublimation process. The only thing I didn't like at the back was there are some tiny bubbles around the edges, but if you're not bothered about it, the design is still amazing when looking at the front. Maybe next time I need to do more adjustments with my settings for laminate sheets. Next is option number 3, using an HTVRONT HTV sublimation for dark fabric in matte finish. I use a heat setting of 395 Fahrenheit for 90 seconds with 70 pounds of pressure to tack it down the vinyl, and a 3 times sublimation process with the same heat settings. I was totally surprised about the outcome because I achieved a very colorful piece of an art. I thought to myself that why not use this type of vinyl to a glass? Then I'm so glad it worked out, not just meant for dark fabrics, but it can be used for glass such as cutting boards. On the other hand, if you are looking for a semi-transparent effect, this option number 4 is for you. I use an HTVRONT Sublimation HTV in clear finish. I use 395 Fahrenheit heat settings for 90 seconds with 70 pounds of pressure to tack it down the vinyl in place, and use 3 times sublimation process. This method is actually great for stained glass effect designs. The outcome is really amazing, especially with looking at the front with that textured glass in it. I love the smooth matte finish at the back and no bubbles. This method is my favorite. I made an extra piece with this amazing and colorful hummingbird design. All the materials and designs that I use for this tutorial will be linked down below in my description box. I hope I can inspire you in some way that you can try to make one. This is a great idea and a great addition to your small business. Also, a great gift for everyone. Enjoy making them as I enjoyed making it. Please leave me a comment on which one is your favorite. And that's it. So easy to transform these Dollar Tree glass cutting boards to a beautiful window glass sun catchers. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, please leave a comment, and don't forget to turn that notification bell button on so you don't miss any of my new upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!